Hi everyone, Fresh Than He Scrubbed Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this young lean album, Jonatan. Here we have a new album from singer, songwriter, rapper, producer, cloud rap pioneer, Mr. Young Lean, Sweden's own, the original sad boy. He is back with his first full-length album in 5 years, though not really. Yes, while it has been a while since his last official full-length Stars in 2020, he has been far from inactive, not just recently working with some pretty massive names on some of their latest songs and projects, be it Charlie XCX, Travis Scott, Skrillex, but he's also been feeding fans since Stars with multiple musical side quests. He had that rock-centric Dodmark project drop in 2023, and that same year we had that Leandoer 96 record, Sugar World, a crossover he did with Danish composer and producer Fredrik Valentin, which I think is a super important project to draw attention to here. Now, this is not the only record that Lean has dropped under the Leandoer 96 name. In fact, there have been multiple records and singles, and often in comparison with his usual body of work, the music under the Leandoer name skews a lot more raw, lo-fi, even pop or singer-songwriter centric. It really depends. And Sugar World is an especially odd addition to the Leandoer 96 canon, considering almost the entire record is presented as if Lean is engaged in this super elaborate, drunken, theatrical karaoke performance over sometimes dreamy, sometimes hokey, sometimes glamorous instrumentals. And while it's not great, on some level it didn't really need to be, because it kind of seemed like it wasn't going for that necessarily. Like how sloppy and off-kilter and awkward a lot of the performances on this record are seemed totally intentional, almost like Lean was engaged in a bit of a bit here. Jonatan, by comparison, however, feels like that moment when someone who you've been watching engage in a shtick in a somewhat ironic way reveals that the act they've been engaged in has actually been unironically what they would rather be doing all along. So in that sense, Jonatan does feel like almost like a sequel or a spiritual successor to Sugar World, almost like that record was a testing ground for what we are getting here. And you can hear it in the upped production quality, in Lean mostly drifting away from a lot of the rap influences that originally broke him on the internet. A lot of moodier instrumentals on this record too. And yeah, the styles and influences going into this record lean a lot more into indie pop and art rock, which again, I think in concept is fine, not necessarily a bad thing to switch up styles. But I don't think Lean brings the vocal chops or lyrical finesse that one might need in order to pull off a sound like this fully and completely. Because even with this album being more serious than Sugar World in tone and in presentation, the many vocal performances on this album feel like once again I am sitting through bad karaoke. And somehow it's even weirder to experience because I feel like I'm the only one in the audience with this record, specifically on tracks like Might Not Be, as well as the weirdly upbeat Forever Young, both of which contribute to a very rough first leg of this album. However, I wouldn't say the track list on this thing is all bad. Lean's voice, in a way, does kind of lend itself to the despondent slacker rock vibes of Horses, as well as Babyface Maniacs, but while I do think his singing fits these sounds a lot better, there's nothing really about these tracks that would make me go out of my way to listen to them over the numerous old school rock classics in the style I could be previewing instead. And things, in my opinion, don't really pick up in the second half of the album either. The song Changes, for example, feels like if you took an indie pop and indie-tronic classic such as The Knife's Heartbeats and hollowed it out for basically no reason whatsoever. I mean, for sure there is something to tracks like Teenage Symphonies for God as well as Terminator Symphony, but I feel like that's mostly due to the fact that Lean sort of goes back into rap mode on these tracks, which is a delivery style that I think he sounds much more comfortable and confident in, one through which I think he is better at just conveying his emotions and his pain and his struggles, while conversely on every other moment on the album, it sounds like he's really struggling to keep it together. And while on one level I can certainly respect what Lean is trying to accomplish on this album, and some of his tracks in recent years certainly dabbled in more of an art pop style before with pretty dreamy instrumentation, such as on 2017's Stranger, but in this particular case, him attempting to really broaden out his sound, I think for the most part, has led to a lot of tracks that just kind of blow up in his face, which is why I'm feeling a strong 2 to a light 3 on this one. Transition. Have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best. You're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Young Lean, forever.